At the mouth of the Persian Gulf lies one of the most dangerous and strategically vital waterways on Earth. The Strait of Hormuz is a narrow, 39-kilometer wide corridor where global power, oil, and military pressure collide. Nearly 20% of the world's crude oil passes through this choke point. And as of early April 2026, it has become the center of a rapidly escalating crisis. According to UNCTAD, shipping traffic through the strait has collapsed by more than 95% during the height of the tension, a drop not seen since the tanker wars of the 1980s. The disruption began after a series of attacks on commercial vessels in late March and early April. Reuters reported that the tanker Aqua 1 was struck by a projectile near the strait, forcing emergency teams to respond and raising fears of a broader regional conflict. In response, the United States, the United Kingdom, and several Gulf states increased naval patrols. The U.S. Navy confirmed to Reuters that destroyers and surveillance aircraft were repositioned to maintain what Washington calls freedom of navigation. The Pentagon warned that any further attacks on commercial shipping could trigger a coordinated response. Iran denies involvement. Officials told state media the accusations were fabricated to justify foreign military presence. But Western intelligence agencies disagree. According to the Associated Press, U.S. analysts linked the strikes to Iranian-aligned groups, noting similarities to attacks in 2019 and 2021. The economic shock was immediate. Oil prices surged above $113 per barrel, with Bloomberg reporting that traders were pricing in the risk of prolonged instability. Insurance premiums for tankers skyrocketed, in some cases rising more than 300%, as underwriters reassessed the danger of transiting the strait. Security analysts warn this crisis is more volatile than previous flare-ups. Al Jazeera reported that regional proxy conflicts, political transitions, and stalled nuclear negotiations have created what experts describe as a perfect storm in the strait. The United Nations called for restraint. On April 2nd, the UN Security Council held an emergency meeting. Reuters reported that the UK ambassador condemned the attacks as unacceptable violations of international law, while Iran's representative accused Western nations of militarizing the region. India, heavily reliant on Gulf energy, has taken decisive action. According to the Times of India, New Delhi deployed naval escorts for Indian-flagged vessels and joined UK-led maritime security talks, calling safe passage through the strait a critical national priority. The crisis has rippled across global markets. CNBC reported that the International Energy Agency prepared a contingency release of up to 400 million barrels from strategic reserves. Meanwhile, OPEC Plus announced a modest 206,000 barrel per day production increase, though analysts say it barely offsets the risk premium created by the conflict. The human cost is rising. ABC News reported more than 20,000 sailors stranded on vessels unable to safely transit the strait. The International Maritime Organization confirmed 21 ships attacked and at least 10 sailors killed since the start of the crisis. China confirmed that several of its commercial vessels crossed the strait after receiving security assurances. Reuters noted that Beijing urged all parties to exercise maximum restraint. Marine traffic data showed 21 ships transiting the strait over a single weekend, though many were rerouted or delayed for days. Analysts warned the crisis could spill into other strategic waterways. The Bab al-Mandeb Strait has already seen increased drone and missile activity from regional militias, and Reuters analysts say a dual strait disruption could push oil prices above $150 per barrel. Gulf states are scrambling to adapt. Saudi Arabia and the UAE have accelerated plans to expand overland pipelines that bypass Hormuz entirely. Business Standard reported that the UAE's Fujairah pipeline is now operating near maximum capacity, moving more than 1.5 million barrels per day outside the strait. As of early April 2026, the Strait of Hormuz stands at a crossroads. Any miscalculation here could ripple across global markets, energy supplies, and international security. The next steps taken by Iran, the United States, and regional powers will determine whether this crisis stabilizes or spirals into something far more dangerous.